Section 11.3 Conic sections, hyperbolas. A hyperbola is the set of all points in the plane, the difference of whose distances from two fixed points f1 and f2 is a constant. These two fixed points are the foci of the hyperbola. A hyperbola in the standard form, where x squared term is positive and y squared term is negative and it equals 1, is centered at h, k, and c is found by square root of a squared plus b squared. We use the center and count a units to the left and right and b units up and down and draw a dotted rectangle. Asymptotes have slopes of b over a and negative b over a and are shifted h units horizontally and k units vertically. We graph the asymptotes with dashed lines. Since the coefficient of x is positive and the coefficient of y is negative, the hyperbola opens sideways. Vertices are a units to the left and right of the center, and foci are c units to the left and right of the center. Center, c, and asymptotes are the same whether the hyperbola opens sideways or up and down. However, if the y squared term is positive and x squared term is negative, the hyperbola opens up and down, with vertices b units up and down from center and foci c units up and down from the center. Here's an example to find vertices, foci, asymptotes, and sketch the graph of the hyperbola. First, we write it in standard form. Center is at the origin, a equals 4, b equals 3, and c equals 5. Since coefficient of x squared is positive and coefficient of y squared is negative, the hyperbola opens sideways. Asymptotes are y equals 3/4 x and y equals negative 3/4 x. Vertices are 4 units to the left and right of the center, and foci are 5 units to the left and right of the center. Using the center A and B, we draw a rectangle and graph the asymptotes. Vertices and foci are to the left and right of the center, and the hyperbola opens sideways. Here's another example. We can see that the hyperbola is centered at 2, negative 1. A equals 2, b equals 3, and c equals square root of 13. Y squared term is positive and x squared term is negative. Thus, the hyperbola opens up and down. Asymptotes are y equals 3/2 x minus 4 and y equals negative 3/2 x plus 2. And vertices are at 2, negative 4 and 2, 2, with foci at 2, negative 1 minus the square root of 13 and 2, negative 1 plus square root of 13. Using the center A and B, we draw a dotted rectangle centered at 2, negative 1, a units to the left and right, and b units up and down. Then we draw the dashed asymptotes and plot vertices and foci. Note that hyperbolas always open towards foci. These are the suggested textbook homework problems and required ALEKS homework for section 11.3.